Everybody, welcome to the third episode of the Irrelevant Podcast. I know I have tons of people listening to this, but anyways, I'm here again with Jason from Matt's Guitars.
You don't have to give me a title every
I
time.
know, I'm just, I'm just trying. I don't know. I know I should just do my own thing, but I don't know. I'm just like I want this to be like a legit podcast, so you know.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, okay.
Just observing.
Yeah, so how was your day, dude?
My days have been busy. It's just constant dealing with inventory and ordering things and making sure everything goes where it's supposed to be going.
Yeah, so like, how does that? Or you're talking about the guitars, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's for those listening in, COVID has fucked the entire world in production. So a lot of companies are playing catch up, and I think it's going to, like, for some of them, it's going to be about a couple years or 2 years before we can get some things. It's like they're that back ordered in. I can imagine with the Delta variant creeping around the corner this fall, it's going to get worse.
Man, but so like, how much do y'all sell though? Like, how many guitars are you selling like weekly? I guess.
We sell a lot online. I don't know. I would say like at least 10 like high-end guitars as an average,
Okay,
and a lot of pedals and stuff, and amps.
but you sell
But
more
it's
online though, right?
oh yeah, because like usually summertime is slow for in person, especially with people going on vacation. Double, especially with COVID and people are sick of sitting in their house, so
Really?
they're getting in their last minute traveling before they get forced to vaccinated.
Yeah, fuck that shit. But okay, we'll talk about that maybe later. Yeah, no, I would have thought that this summer would have been. I thought the summer would be better. Like you'd be have more customers, but I don't know.
No, it's the busiest time is usually like from October to like maybe April, because you get the early holiday season in and then tax season, so that's usually the busiest times.
Yeah, I think I bought two guitars in that time period.
It's the perfect time too.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. Do you guys sell those? Do you know the Cordoba guitars?
The classical ones, no, we
No,
don't. But I
those
was actually
guitars
looking
are
into them.
good as shit, dude. Oh my
Yeah, I've played a
god.
couple of them because I was looking at trying to get into a classical, and I played a couple of them. There's one, I think it's Black Limba. One has like a really cool exotic wood back that I really like. But yeah, I like them. I don't know. It just has to make sense numbers wise, because some companies are really great and others make you have a shit ton of buy-in that you have to do,
True.
and so
That's
it
always
makes like no one's. Yeah, like you're not gonna spend 200 grand worth of instruments that is only gonna be one type of instrument.
But
It's kind
yeah,
of difficult.
I
But
assume they're expensive, right?
well, I mean, that's all they do. So they have a range. I think they have like cheap ones. They have like really cheap ones and obviously
Okay.
really expensive ones too.
But yeah, I was So I sing in the choir at church. I don't play the guitar yet because all the stuff I play like is just I can't really play that at church. So we have other people that are playing the guitar, but then they had this one guy who was visiting, and he had one of those Cordoba guitars. And then afterwards, I was just like, "Hey, can I can I just like dabble on it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And I got to play in the inside the church with these really good acoustics on this super fucking nice guitar, and I just did all my flamenco stuff that I normally do, and oh man, it was so good. Like I sounded amazing. And I was like, man, like I need to get me one of these. Like this thing is so fucking good.
Yeah, they are nice, and the cool thing is, like I said, is you can pretty much find one at a price point that you like. I don't know. I mean, obviously the lower end ones are probably made in China, but the higher end ones I think are made in Spain
Yeah,
still.
that's what I bet.
I think.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
really really good ones.
If you want to get a really good classical, look to no further than the Spanish.
Oh yeah, because all of that shit comes from the south of Spain.
One one video you might like is do you know who Rob Scallon is?
I've heard that name, but I don't exactly know like what to associate with him. If you know what I'm saying?
He he does a lot of like really he finds like instruments that not many people play, and he'll go and do very weird challenges with them, or he'll do like unnecessary metal songs with them, or he'll just make up his own type of song with it, or he'll do like really weird challenges, like he did a challenge like to do a video only using pinch harmonics, or making a video playing every note of the fretboard. So like he'll do kind of videos like that. But one that he did was he went to I can't remember for the life of me. It might have actually been Spain or Italy or one of those countries, and he went to this place that had a shit ton of old, very antique, and probably even older than that, like very expensive classical guitars, and he was playing all of them, and he was playing like classical pieces on them, and there's a couple people there that were giving the history of them, and also classical prodigies that were, you know, giving it the true justice of what the guitar sounds like, and basically just giving it some history of like what they started with, what it was made out of, stuff like that. It's a pretty cool video. You should check it out.
Yeah, you could send that to me. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Yeah, have you heard of Ben Woods?
No.
He's what got me into flamenco. He's this guy. I'm pretty sure he's American, but like he's not like Spanish or like Hispanic at all. But like he just like got really into flamenco music, and he was just like fascinated by it. And now he's like, I would say he's like one of the best flamenco players like in the world right now. And like he does a lot of covers, but then he has a ton of original music that he just wrote his own flamenco music, and a lot of it's great.
Is it all very fast paced?
Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like piccato with the two, like the index and the middle finger, and yeah, he does a lot of that like Gypsy Kings kind of rhythm that everyone knows. But yeah, it's a lot of piccato. That's pretty much like the big thing he does to like sound legit, if you know what I mean.
You know what's crazy about like when I hear like music like that, when I first started out, I was like, oh, I'll never be able to play fast, whether it's in the context of that or any other genre. But then like you get to a point where you're so comfortable playing fast, like it almost like not like hides your mistakes, but you feel like it's not as pressure. It doesn't have as much pressure to you to maintain that speed. It's like you become comfortable then, and then when you go back to playing this, the hardest thing is playing slower, or like playing something that you really have to get the timing right or the phrasing.
Yeah, that's actually true. I get, yeah, because when it's faster, you know, you can leave things out subtly that people wouldn't notice, or
or it's like the dynamic kind of gets muddied in there. So unless you're doing like a very specific technique, if you're just playing like 16ths or 30 seconds or whatever the fuck you're doing, you kind of don't have to like think very much about how to play it, unless you're just like, the only thing you really need to make sure you do is just keep in time.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also like hitting the notes clearly. That's really the hardest thing. Once you get past that, like there's not too many ways to play fast.
Yeah, even like I suck with fast, like if I'm playing a backing track that's really fast, I can't improvise to it very well. But I'm getting there. Like I'm practicing the scales with the piccato and mixing that up with like the pull-ons and pull-offs and stuff. Because like I can do all those when it's slow and stuff like that. But when it gets faster, it gets like because like for me, I found to sound more dynamic, I need to use those techniques like pull-ons and pull-offs and you know, not just playing the scale, like just running through it, running back down, playing all the half steps. 'Cause, I mean, like those half steps, those are so tempting because they always sound good. Like it, like that's that. Like if I would give any advice to someone who's like, oh, how do I like sound good, or like the first thing I tell them is like, all right, you gotta just, well, after learning the scale obviously, is in the harmonic minor. I would just say like play with the half steps, because that's where you find the mood and all that stuff, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to get boxed in and just, you know, constantly just do scales in whatever key of the song that you're playing and kind of don't venture out. So, yeah, doing those half steps is fun. Sometimes it creates a little bit more dissonance than you intend. So it just depends on the style you're going for. But it's harder to do. I will say it's easier to do that by yourself because you have nothing else to compare it to. So like if you can make it sound cool within the context of yourself, then it works. But sometimes it's harder to do it like in a band setting where it's like I can't explain it, but like some notes that are technically like will work like are just way too dissonant for whatever setting that you're using it in, or the timbre is a little bit off.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. exactly.
So it just depends. But I mean, obviously that's kind of my realm. Like I'm into really weird sounds, trippy effects, unconventional types of music as well as the conventional. So when it's done right, it's really fucking cool.
Yeah. Um, but wait, no. Have you played in like what's your experience with bands? Like, were you ever in one or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in one now, but I think like starting out, I think 15 or 16 in high school, and I
Okay.
played in a band, and we played a couple shows. We played. I don't know if you know do you know the pay to play model for some venues?
I I don't think so.
So I don't know if they're still around anymore, and I would guess not because it was a really shitty way to promote anything. Basically, it
Yeah,
was like a small
honestly.
venue. It was a small venue that got very large acts, or I would say semi-large acts for for the size of the venue. Like, it was kind of cool, but they also booked local bands to open up for these other bands. So it's like I don't know if they. I think they brought some specific bands on tour, but a lot of it was like like the local bands would open, and then the headliner would be whoever the act people came to pay to see, right? But the
Okay.
only way that you could play at these venues is that if you bought a pack of tickets and you're supposed to sell them to your friend. Like you could play, like you literally could buy the tickets and pretty much sell them to nobody, but you would get like like the worst spot. Like you get like the first spot as soon as
Oh,
the
so
doors
so it's kind of
open.
like raffle tickets,
Mm,
kind of like
similar.
that, or
It's basically it's designed to like it was kind of a scam because like you had to spend a couple $100s to buy all these tickets, and then there's no fucking way that you were gonna sell the majority of them, like maybe 10 or 15 tickets to your friends if you're lucky, because like the show was like on a Tuesday night, and you're a small band and have no like pretty much no following, so it's like you're not really
yeah.
gonna get a chance to sell the tickets, so you might sell a couple, then you'll just have to fucking eat the cost to play there, and then pretty much you're just get a really shitty, early time that people are not even going to be showing up for yet, or everybody's just getting beer, nobody's caring until like the
Like
actual
no one
main acts
cares.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a very shitty model. Most people that ran it were cokeheads, so the business on the back end side was probably not legit in a lot of ways.
Nice.
And
Nice. Nice.
like, yeah, like most people didn't even sell tickets, they just wasted the money to be able to play. And I mean, I guess some people got exposure, but it wasn't sustainable the way they ran it. So I don't know if it's like that anymore, if there's still places like that, but it was just a nightmare.
Oh.
However, the actual shows were fun. Like,
So yeah, you guys did get to play,
we
even
did.
regardless of whether or not there's anyone listening or paying attention. Like you still got to play, right?
Well, the weird thing, like, I don't. So, like, one of the like the very first show we did, we literally got like we were the first ones to play. So there's not that many people. It almost felt like a sound check. That's how funny it was. But the second time, I think we got like third. There's a lot of people there. So I don't remember, like, I just remember there being a lot of people, and that was really cool. And
Wait,
most
like you
people
mean
were pretty
third
supportive.
place, or like you went third?
Like we were
Like which one?
third in line from like they like let's say like doors open at 5, we'd probably would play at like 7,
Oh, okay. I
and like
see.
the main act started at like 8:30 or 9, so it's like we were kind of in the middle, but it was the time where like people were coming in, and like there's already people like in the front waiting for whatever band they wanted to see, and like everybody was in the room, and it felt like more of a concert experience than just some dipshit high schoolers playing for a couple people in the bar. But they
Playing
were
like some
fun.
generic like '70s classic rock stuff.
Yeah. No, it was fucking it was like metalcore. It was a very generic type of band for the time. It was like back when everybody was doing all the breakdowns and the singy songy choruses and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and very repetitive song structure. That was kind of when all that was popular. Deathcore too.
but what were you guys playing?
We were playing metalcore.
Oh, like you were doing covers of their stuff.
No, we did originals, but it might as well have been because it all fucking sounded the same to me. I played bass in it though. That was fun. It's
Nice.
like the one thing that you'll learn when you start playing at like actual venues is a lot of the sound guys fucking suck at their job. So it would behoove you to learn a lot about live sound and how to fix problems on your own and what gives a good setup. Because
Mhm.
my God, like some of them do not know what they're doing, and they will fuck up your shit exponentially.
Well, yeah, that's like being at like a like a musical or like a play or something like that, and like your stage crew sucks. Like if they don't know how to put the like to do the lights or do any of like the like that background behind the scenes stuff, then like yeah, the show's gonna suck. And like if they don't know how to like turn on the certain mics and edit the volume and maintain all, like yeah, the show's gonna come out like shit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, your show is always going to be as good as the people that organize it. You know, it doesn't really matter. But the thing with sound guys most of the time is that like they have really shitty equipment, and sometimes it won't work with the equipment you have, and they'll make you use theirs. That's the worst case scenario. Some venues couldn't give a shit. You can bring your amp and bring your thing and be as loud as you want, and then the sound guy will just mic it up. Some will make you go directly into their board to go out to their really shitty, you know, $200 standing speakers. So it just depends, but it's like what I'm saying is like it's very important to like have gear that just automatically works well running through a mixer, and then also having like every cable that's imaginable in case something happens. Like basically just having a lot of contingencies within your setup. And every venue's different, so that's why like when you play live, it's, you know, it's always good to stake out the place first if you can, to see how they do their sound. If not, then you just have to bring everything and pray to God they're not totally incompetent. But it sucks because like most places don't have the budget, or they're just set up for like, you know, hipster acoustic singer-songwriter, so all they have to do is plug in an acoustic and, you know, give them a microphone and they're good to go. They're not, you know, able to handle amps and pedals and a bunch of shit that can mess up the signal if they don't know what they're doing. So that's kind of the difficult part, is, you know, keeping a simple setup but also something that sounds good. But for the kind of stuff that you're going to be doing, it's not going to be that difficult. Like I said, you're going to be up there with your guitar, you know, singing and playing at the same time, unless you want to go, you know, Tool style and start bringing some amps and pedals and going weird with it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Tool is just, it's fun. I always find like new things to appreciate every time I listen to them.
Yeah, and the live shows are fucking phenomenal because they hire sound people to go on tour with them. That's the difference.
Yeah, I've been listening to, because I've listened to all of their albums, like every song. Like, I'm like, I want to see how they, like, what live, like I wanted to like hear how they sounded live and things that they did slightly differently and stuff like that. And yeah, I found some awesome live covers.
The problem was
at their Sacramento show. I don't remember what year it was.
A lot of their older footage is good. Like, that's the problem with all these bands from the 90s, that these guys are fucking boomers now. Like, it's like he can't sing as high as he used to. Like,
yeah,
they don't do like weird crazy shit anymore. Like, obviously, like the sound can be a little bit better, but they definitely sound a lot different than the albums, especially these days, because like I said, his vocals need a little bit more work these days. So he can't scream like he did in the 90s, and then having a lot more effects that he doesn't use. Like, the biggest thing is like he has a lot of effects on the album that he doesn't use live, so it almost sounds a little, not underwhelming, but a little bit like weaker in the tone and context to the rest of the music.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, like they're very good live, and like they're very tight, and it's a very good show. But I mean, if you're looking for, you know, to be exactly like the album, it's going to be different. Because they also they drag out songs longer. They, you know, add a bunch of other stuff to them. They change up parts. They'll add this and that. So it's a lot different experience.
I wasn't like expecting it to sound the same. Like, I sought out these live versions just to see how they would do it differently.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of these versions I thought were excellent. Like, I thought this live version of Ticks and Leeches I heard was awesome.
Yeah, they have a lot of good live. That's why I like looking on YouTube for bands to see if they have any cool live footage of stuff. The really awesome thing is there's some bands where it's like they sound better live than they do on the album, and that's kind of cool because like I can't for the life of me right now.
What kind of bands are like that?
Well, I was trying to think of an example, but it's fucking escaping me now that I'm on the spot. But I remember there have been bands where it's like I knew who they were and I've listened to a couple of their songs. I'm like, I like it, but it's nothing special. And then I see them live and it's like, holy shit, this is 10 times. Like, they should have recorded it this way. But I don't know. That's cool because I like live music. Like, it doesn't matter if the band is good or not, because even if they're bad, then it's, you know, fun to make fun of, or just like, you know, it's always entertaining. So like, I love any type of live music, even if I don't like the genre.
Yeah. I remember like you were saying, there's certain things that, you know, like these bands they're all boomers now. Like there's
Yeah.
certain things that they can't do. I remember I was listening to some live versions of Metallica recently. I know a lot of their songs they like tune down to like a different key because like James Hetfield just can't sing that high anymore. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people in the go they lose that high register of their voice, so they have to down tune.
Is Tool like that or?
A couple songs, I think, for like their stuff from their most, obviously not the last album, but the stuff from like 10,000 Days. Like I know the pot they do to drop C in that one because he can't sing as high in the intro. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what songs they do, but there's a couple that they tune down low if you can't get that high anymore. But yeah, I mean, a lot of bands do that. That's just kind of common. Also, what's kind of annoying sometimes, going back to if you want to start playing live, is sometimes like when you want to play with a singer and they don't have that high register, so like it's annoying to play in standard because they're always complaining that they can't sing in the key you're trying to play. And then you're like, okay, fine. So then you'll down tune, and then they'll still bitch about it being in a key they can't sing. So it's just like you can't win with singers sometimes if they're
Well, it's like
they're
maybe
not
you
good.
just can't sing, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not a singer, so like I'm not gonna speak on it. But sometimes it feels like they're just like they just can't do it, and or it's like they can sing stuff if it's already there. That makes sense. Like they can do covers really well, but they can't like make their own melodies sound good. So they're just like, oh, I can't sing in this key.
Oh, yeah, I can't do
That's what
that.
it sounds like.
I a lot of people tell me because I don't want I never like saying these things myself. A lot of people say I have a nice voice, but and that I sing well, but I can't like improvise very well.
It's just practice. You just have to keep like the best thing is just recording yourself, and then I mean the worst thing is actually like hearing your voice playing back live because you're automatically gonna hate it. Like, a lot of people go through that too, so you might go through that phase.
Oh
but
yeah, like if you're singing or talking, like everyone hates the
yeah,
sound of their own voice recorded.
I don't mind myself talking. Like I don't mind listening to that back. That I can do, but I hate hearing myself. Like I can't sing. Like there's some notes that I can like.
Mhm.
I can hit some notes, but it doesn't have that much tone to it because like I don't know how to
Okay.
properly control my diaphragm. But it's like I get like even if like I've even pitch corrected my vocals to be like to the note and I still can't do it. So that's why the most of my shit's just instrumental or until I can find a singer because it just makes me cringe. And every time I've like done something where it's like I can actually kind of like this and I show it to somebody, I get that like instant feeling of embarrassment. And I don't get that when I've like shown people the stuff I've written on guitar or bass. I was like, maybe it's time to hang it up. So, but fuck, what was I gonna say? What I was saying was, it's hard. Like, just keep recording yourself, and then you'll hear like, oh, I need to do it this way. And if you really want to work on it, like you just eventually you'll find it. Then you get into that comfortable space, especially if you can actually sing. And getting singing lessons is key. So it's like once you've kind of think that
Yeah, I've
you,
never taken this.
I would recommend it. I would like it's good to like do
people.
something and it's good to do something and hear somebody like give you feedback directly, even if you know how to do it already.
I mean, I can obviously harmonize with melodies, and I can like I can do a cappella very well, but
Right.
but yeah, it's just like like adding in those like those like yeah like and just doing it's kind of hard because I don't want to sing right now
Right.
because everyone else in my house is asleep, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like adding those extra things and like
Do a full belt, pussy. You won't.
I know,
No,
but
I know. Yeah, just take lessons. Like if you already have the natural ear for it, all you need is how to train your voice and how to train the breathing and doing the actual correct way to sing that doesn't damage your vocal cords and all of that. So, if you do that, you'll be good.
well, I'm taking 2 language classes, and I'm probably gonna pick up another one. So,
How's that going, by the way?
oh, the Vietnamese.
Yeah.
It's getting better. I mean, I've been able to start talking to the ladies at work.
Oh my god, you've only how long have you been taking lessons?
Well, okay. I didn't specify. Like I can say very simple things, and I do have to rely on speaking English still, but
Can you understand them when they talk?
it depends. If they like ask me a question, like like oh, can you go get me like one bag of the chicken or something? Oh yeah, I'll understand them because I know the word for one, which is mot or mot. I don't exactly remember the tone it was, and then chicken is ga. So then I can I can just put that together in my head, and I know how the grammar works for when you're asking a question. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you
and
say a
also,
sentence?
what do you want me to say? I mean, I can only say like
Well, like I don't know if you
very
start
simple
practicing how
things.
to pronounce, like just like what have you been learning?
Um, okay, so I'm taking useful conversation. That's what the class is called. I'm taking a useful Vietnamese conversation class.
Say
So
something useful then.
yeah, yo an tôi tên là Willie, tôi là người Mỹ. À, tôi thích làm món nghệ. I
That's
just
fucking
said,
wild.
yeah, I just said, hi, my name is Willie. I am American. I like to work every day. I don't know. I have to
Very American.
bullshit it. Yes, I am American.
That's crazy, dude. It probably would take me a month just to pronounce words correctly in
No,
Vietnamese.
that's the thing is because like with Spanish and Portuguese, for me at least, not for everyone, but the pronunciation is it's so easy, and the grammar too. But like with Vietnamese, like the pronunciation is just like on the first day when my teacher showed me, she taught me the alphabet, and there was just some sounds. I was just like, what? like did you hear the word? I don't remember if you
I'm not gonna lie,
if
it
I don't
just
know.
sounded like sounds to me. I didn't pick out any words.
Okay, true. Yeah. So the word for like is thick.
Tick.
Yeah, and I'm still probably pronouncing it wrong. It's spelled Thich. Thick.
Thick. Do you have
No.
you tried writing it yet?
I can write things that um like that sentence I said, like all
Yeah.
those three sentences, I might
Yeah.
have missed like a certain
Some of the accents.
yeah, how would you say, like a not a digraph, like no, because there's certain variations of like certain letters. So okay, so you know how French and Portuguese have like the C with like the little squiggly line underneath it.
Yeah,
So like I would have got everything right except that little squiggly line underneath it.
I see. And that
You
makes all
know,
the
or
difference.
yeah, like they have three different versions of like how you can write O's and U's. There's like a squiggly line on the right end of the U or the one on the left, and then also you have to write the tone on it. Unless it's the neutral like flat tone, then you don't need to. Which is actually in the key of C, by the way.
I remember you telling me that they talk in the
It's
key of C.
uh so ma means ghost, but ma means mom, and ma means the conjunction but.
You know what's crazy? I always thought about because you might be the person to ask this because I know there's a lot of languages where there's a lot like hundreds of I guess I might be exaggerating, but like there could be 100 different ways to say one word or a lot of ways to explain a scenario kind of thing, or just like you're saying, like just the way you pronounce the same word will mean different things, which has always been crazy to me. I can never like it's just I can't make it that concept because in English there's only specific ways that you can describe something, but it's just it changes the meaning based off the words that you use, as opposed to
Yeah,
like
like
having everything like a lot of things be one singular meaning.
yeah. So like, I get what you're saying, and that's the thing is like, we still have tones in English technically. We just don't really think about it. Like, it doesn't necessarily change the meaning of a word, but we like we have like an up intonation when we ask questions, like what or this is that, right? Like we have this
Right.
upward intonation. So I guess that is sort of like a tone, but we just don't really think about it. And it's not really, and it's not a tone in the same way that like Chinese or Vietnamese is, because like what and what. Like that doesn't mean anything different than
Yeah, because like you can be
yeah.
you can be confused about like the like why somebody said something based off of inflection, but it won't like mean a completely different word.
Yeah, but
Which is
what was I gonna
nuts.
say? Yeah, but like this whole venture into Vietnamese is just like it's completely different, and like just like the other thing is just, like there's a logic that the rules of a language abide by, and for most of the European languages, they are the same as English pretty much. Like just the way that words work and the way things are addressed and whatnot. If you can kind of get where I'm getting at. But in Vietnamese and all of these languages that are, as far as we know, just completely unrelated to English, it's just the way that things work. It's just it just doesn't make sense to someone. I mean, eventually it does make more sense the more it goes on and the more you learn it. But just man, like the pronouns, like the pronouns are the same actually in terms of how it. Okay, so you know how in English we have I as opposed to me, like I is the subject form and me is the object form. It means the
Right.
same thing, but it's just the function of it in the sentence. But in Vietnamese, the pronouns change based on who is talking to another. So like the pronoun I used for I when I was speaking to the sentences, tôi, that means I for like a formal situation, and you don't really know the person. But once you know the person and you're speaking to like an older woman who's like late 20s to like 50s, you use M, and it's different depending on if it was a man, or like if it was an even older woman, or and also the word for you also changes. But the other weird thing is that the word for I, like the word that someone addresses you as you have to respond to them using the you word they used. It's really weird, and like we don't think about that because I is always I in English, and when I'm talking about you is not I. It's if you understand anything I'm saying, it's very hard to explain.
I mean, it just has a very specific structure depending on who you're talking to. It's like that in Spanish too with ustedes, right?
Well,
Similarly,
no. But so when it's not like that.
because it changes depends on who you're talking, or if it's more formal, right? It changes the context of the sentence. That's what kind of fucked me up when I took Spanish was using the right context of words versus like formal versus informal.
Well, but the big thing I was saying is like when when like my teacher addresses me, she uses M, but then when I have to respond to her and I'm saying I have to also say M. Because in English, if I tell you, can you give me this? I would respond, yes, I can give you this. But in Vietnamese, it would sound something like, yes, you can give you this. If you get what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I see. Okay,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
interesting.
Like the pronouns like overlap into one another. It's completely unlike anything I've like come across in terms of like my language ventures.
That's also one of those things where you really have to learn the culture to get like probably even to have context about the language.
Yeah, I know, and like
Like you
even
really have to go hard with that.
yeah, because because you got understanding words just indicatively and stuff like that, just knowing, oh, this is that. But because like with Spanish, I can understand indicative statements, not just like indicative mood, because I don't know how much you know about languages, but
Not many, or
like
not very.
okay, but just like I don't know, like just like I'm gonna put the book on the table. Voy a poner el libro en la mesa. Like I understand all that stuff like very like almost perfectly. But if someone's talking to me about like in like an idiom dialectical way, and using a bunch of like phrases like that, I'm gonna have a harder time understanding. Because I'm just not gonna get like certain, like jokes we have in English, with all these like memes. Like someone who doesn't like who's not really well versed in that is like not gonna understand why some of the things we think is funny is funny.
Which is crazy to think about, like being the person that made that shit up. Like I want to meet the people that just decided to make up a language and just like get the privilege to tell it to other people. Like, who the fuck made up Vietnamese?
Yeah, I know.
Who decided all these rules?
Yeah, I know. But that's the interesting though, is because these rules are not the rules that those languages abide by. Like those are the rules that abide by the language. Because we don't think about the rules when we're speaking our own language. It's just
well, like I don't know if
accustomed to.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast or if I just told you in person. Like, I mean, we can barely speak fucking English in this country, people. Like, I do,
exactly.
especially like doing podcasts for a minute now. When I listen back to myself talk, it's like, holy shit, I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I said like way too much. Which
Exactly. Like there is no like, not even being like, it's obviously like I'm formal when I'm at work and I have to deal with somebody professionally or I have to handle a situation
Sure,
that I can't just say fuck every sentence.
But just like when you're with the boys, it's just
yeah, it's just retardation from from everywhere.
Exactly.
But people don't really care. I don't think people care about the structure of languages. Like, the only thing they'll really follow is whatever the newest slang word is or whatever, like, because I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm, like, that's, like, the curse of getting older is that the culture and the language changes a lot quicker. So it's like, if you're not paying attention every second of every day, you'll miss something, and then you'll see it like, fuck, I don't have the context for this. Like, I don't even care to follow it anymore because it's probably just fucking stupid. So...
Yeah,
I don't.
Because English is spoken by like 1 billion people in the world, so there's bound to be tons of
Well, not even that. It's just like, obviously, like the majority of English is shaped by like modern. I mean, without another way to like mask it, like modern hip hop culture or like, because movies don't even do that. Movies follow that. It's like whatever people are like rapping about or the way that people speak, like that kind of that gets watered down to every aspect. It ends up into like every teenager saying it, like every like old people like really butchering it, trying to say it like it's in movies. So it's like a lot of English comes from hip hop now, and it's just the trend is just
Michael
harder
Jackson,
to keep up with.
He started the trend of saying "come on" instead of "come on."
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, so it's like it's so fucking fast, and I'm not like completely lost. Like, I have enough, like I've got like I started kind of from the beginning, so like if I don't understand what word somebody said, I can usually get the context, and the fact that I don't get the like I don't like know where it started just sounds dumb to me, because like I don't know if you've noticed how like people, and I might just be bitching just a bitch, but like how people of the Gen Z variety,
which is
talk you. Which is you, and also technically me too. The cutoff for millennial is 96. 97 is Gen Z, so I'm technically Gen Z.
It's a lot older than you think it is.
Yeah, but actual like people that I think are Gen Z, they have this very weird like everybody's on painkillers kind of talking. Do you notice that?
Yeah. That's
like everybody's
so
very
true.
slow when they talk. They're just like, oh shit. Like they're always doing dumb fucking like anagrams like that.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, my parents punished me, and like, I don't know, like, it's like they right.
And alternatively, there's also a lot of people that talk way too fast and very quiet. Like nobody, like people are loud, but you can't like understand what they're saying. It's like their voice doesn't project, but they're just making a high pitched sound. It fucking gets in my nerves, dude. I don't know what it is.
I'm trying to think of an example of that. Like, no, for me, that's like honestly like what like parties are like. Like it's just a bunch of like noise. And it's like you hear a lot of noise, but nothing is really being projected. So like you don't really get to really like it's like you were saying, none of these people are really loud, but you don't understand anything they're saying.
That's a
And like,
good metaphor. It really is, because that's how I feel. Like there literally could be nobody in a room except for the person that I'm trying to listen to, and like the shit they're saying, it just doesn't like they say it with like no volition, or it's like they have no fucking like, I don't know. It's a very like weak sound, but also a very loud weak sound. It's very whiny. It's fucking weird.
yeah, I know. Like people are
It's
just
like
weird now, dude.
I cannot like they'll tell me something and it's just like I just zone out. I just cannot fucking grasp what they tell me. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I know. But
And like I think it's like everybody is on probably drugs. Like they're probably all doing fucking dumbed down drugs like fucking Percocets or Xanax or any of those goddamn soccer mom drugs.
you know, I'm like, god damn, like the whole like
Or
psychedelics crowd, like have you seen those memes where it's like what zero personality does to a motherfucker, and it has like like just like weed posters like all over. Like
dude,
just
I opened my
psychedelic,
third eye.
yeah, like
The
tie dye stuff. Like
the government's a sham, bro. They got us running from 9 to 5 and 5 to 9.
yeah, bro, it's all part of the system, bro. It's them institutions, bro.
It's like I still agree with you and I still hate you.
No,
At the same
like,
time.
I mean, they're not entirely wrong, but at the same time, it's
They're
like
so fucking annoying.
they're just saying that because they're trying to be cool. But the
Yeah.
only problem is like that was cool in the '60s. The whole like fight the system, bro. Like being a hippie. Like that was cool in the '60s. But now it's just you're just doing it for social validation.
That's the thing that annoys me about modern life is that like there has been so many things that have happened in the past and a lot of people have access to that information. So it's like it's very hard to have your own personality or to come up with something original. And it annoys the shit out of me that everybody is trying to be a modern day philosopher, poet, activist, whatever have you, and just they think
Yeah, I know.
all this like shit that has been said before is so riveting. Oh.
It's like
fucking
yeah, exactly.
and like the level of ego that people talk with is insane. It's like there's
No, but like the other problem is like people think that that's like you need to do that in order to be happy and like enjoy your life. It's like no.
and the most miserable people that I know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like maybe you could just accept like, oh, I'm gonna have like I'll turn out just fine, and like being just fine is okay as long as I can do the things that I like to do, and I can be with my friends and family, and that's it.
If it doesn't work out, it's because of my mental illness.
It's because of my diabetes.
Fucking diabetes.
Oh man. Yeah. Wait. Which one of the diabetes? Which is the one where you get like over time, and which is the one that you're born with? Because I always mix them up.
I have no idea. I used to know. Like I always, every time there's a clear-cut 50-50 chance of guessing something, I usually get opposite. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't also know if there's more people that have the kind where you're genetically predisposed to it or the kind that get it from lifestyle. I'd imagine in America it's more lifestyle, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I've seen people get ravished by it. Like it controls their life, and especially like we've had people come in and
What,
like their legs are really.
You mean like sugar or just?
No, just like the effects that it have on their body, like their legs are really
right.
swollen and they're constantly bleeding, or they're super out of breath, or people that don't take care of their blood sugar, or they don't eat what they're supposed to. Like there's a lot of, like
Yeah.
you could get killed quickly if you don't
Yeah.
adapt your lifestyle to it. It's fucking awful. And also I've heard, like I said, this is all just rumblings on Facebook. I haven't done any actual research, but like the price of exactly. The price of insulin has just been going insane, and I don't know if like I think it's getting harder to get covered under insurance. Like there's a bunch of fuckery going on with getting insulin that I've heard, so it's like it's a real epidemic.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Joe Rogan, like, he explained it perfectly. He was just like, dude, like, just get off the sugar for like one day, like you'll feel the difference.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
you
like,
can
it's
go
a
to
fucking
any
demon. Like people don't realize that. Like
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to a lot of, obviously, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that disagree. I've had conversations with people that have been trying to be personal trainers or physical therapists, or not physical therapists, but just people that study diet and nutrition for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the current trend is. Like, if you're supposed to eat whatever you want, but in moderation, or if you're just supposed to hit a specific number of calories. Like, I don't know where the fucking science is on that now.
No,
But
because
what I
everyone
do
has
know
their
is,
own answer, and it's like all like
yeah, they're
honestly,
trying to sell you something most of the time. But I guess like if you
yeah.
talk like the one thing that they all say that nobody is denying is that like sugar is probably the worst thing you can put into your body.
Oh yeah, and
'Cause-
especially like the like even like it's a large sweet tea from McDonald's. I'm like,
Yeah.
how can you like drink that? I don't like I drink like I tried it once. I had just like a little like sip of it, like almost like a shot glass full of it. I was like, oh, that's enough.
Yeah. I mean honestly cuz I used to like I when I was younger I never really drank that much soda or like I didn't grow up on soda or sugared cereals too much like that cuz my parents were kind of like health conscious in that way like they didn't
Yeah,
let me
I
have
didn't
that
have soda
stuff.
in the house. Yeah, or if we did,
Yeah,
it was
but
like Coke Zero or something like that.
so I
Which
wonder if
even that
that's
we had rarely, but
right, so like that's how I was brought up, and then obviously like when I was like in middle school and I was a teenager, I started just like going and getting it on my own because I wasn't allowed to have it at the house. But I
yeah,
don't know
like
if it's
go
because like
like
I
you're with your friends, you just go to like a 7-Eleven and stuff like that, and yeah, just buy
right, and you get
snacks.
candy and all that shit. Because like I remember like I didn't really eat that poorly. Like my parents made very like healthy food, but I had a lot of carbs like noodles and bread, and then I also I didn't really ever really drink that much soda. I always like gummy candies were always kind of my weakness. But like I did a bunch of sports and I was always like very active. I just had a lot of candy, I guess. But like
Wait,
for
really?
some
What
reason,
sports did you play? So sorry to
huh?
change the subject, but
I played a shit, dude. I did like baseball, soccer, football, basketball.
really,
Yeah, I was very like I didn't like I the only sport I really enjoyed playing was basketball.
really,
A little bit of soccer I liked too, like playing goalie, but I hated baseball and I hated football. I thought those are boring as
well,
fuck
why'd you do it?
cuz they made me.
Oh, your parents made you.
Yeah, cuz they just wanted me to do something. But
I don't
what
think
I
my
was going to say
parents
is like
ever
I
made me do
was
anything.
huh?
Well, no, sorry, I could talk about this after. Just finish what you were saying.
What I was gonna say is like I was very active, right? And like for some reason, I don't know if it's because I wasn't brought up on a lot of sugar, but like I couldn't drink a whole soda and without getting a splitting headache, or if I ate a
Oh
lot
my
of
god,
candy, I would just feel like fucking utter garbage afterwards, and like it was just not meshing well with me. So I just kind of gave that up and just drank a lot more water. Like drink I don't drink coffee. I drink tea sometimes, but it's like mint teas, so it's like non-caffeinated. And then every now and again, I'll drink beer. Like I don't really drink at all. So it's like water is what I
yeah,
drink every day mostly, and I don't drink any
yeah, me
soda.
pretty much too. Like for me, all I drink is just water and coffee. That's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
and like you'll be amazed. Like I never get headaches. I very rarely get sick. Like after I stop like really eating that much sugar and I don't exercise as much as I used to. Like I need to kind of go back into doing it. But like the only
Oh,
thing I
it's
used to get were
fun.
sinus infections. I never got the flu. Haven't gotten COVID yet.
Just wait. No, I'm just kidding.
Just wait, yeah.
No, but no, I'm the same way. Like I haven't been sick in like just a standard like cold or anything like that. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know how long.
I think it's one of
seriously.
those. It's one of those things where it's like people that like they grow up their whole life eating meat, and then they kind of like they wean off of it, right? And they start getting like withdrawal symptoms, like they start like not feeling enough energy, or like they get like headaches, or they just don't feel right, and then their body just kind of readjusts to it. I kind of feel like the same thing with sugar, so it's like I didn't really eat that much of it growing up, and then when I started to, it just fucked with my system, and then it made me feel 10 times better when I stopped. But I don't know. I think everybody should drink shit tons of water.
Oh yeah, that's like
Dude, there's
yeah,
some people that don't drink
exactly.
any water. Like they will not drink it. Like they all like it's like coffee every morning,
No, my
fucking tea or
grandpa
sugar, and then
my
alcohol.
grandpa was like that. Like he's like, oh, I mean, water's in like everything. So I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
what?
but
Like he's like, oh, I'll just eat an apple.
fuck. I'll just have watermelon all day.
Well, no, but also like with the coffee though, like if you're drinking it black like I do, like most of that's just water anyways. Or even if it's darker, like you're still getting a good bit of water in that. Or tea, you're like if you drink it with nothing in it, then it's most of that's water. But like
Right.
the problem with when you drink like coffee with all this like cream and sugar and bullshit added to it, like that dehydrates you like even more. And for a lot of people, yeah, like that's most of the time that's what they're drinking. They're not drinking like a black coffee or just some like hot tea. They're drinking like the sweet tea or the caramel frappes from McDonald's.
Well, that too is like you're also like having caffeine every day.
True.
Because like I mean I don't know, like I'd figure like like even people that are really healthy, like they go to the gym all the time, they do all the fucking protein shakes, they eat very good, they do workouts, and they drink a lot of water because they're always exerting energy. But like the thing is, like they always drink coffee like every morning. Like if they can't, like there's people that can't
I don't like
function
that.
without their coffee. Like that can't be fucking like I like people like, oh yeah, it's fine, like I can just drink this thing that alters my state for a little bit every day, and then that's fine. But like the second like you take it away from them, they'll fucking suck your dick for it. So it's
Oh no, I no, I was I when I graduated, we went to the beach. I didn't feel like drinking. I just didn't feel like making any coffee that morning when we were going to the beach. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just not drink coffee, and I had a big headache later in the day. But the
yeah,
good thing about that is that I went to sleep better, and because like I felt more tired, and I just was like, I could sleep better, and I had a very deep, nice sleep, and then I woke
right.
up and had some coffee, and the coffee felt like even better. Not like and not in like a I need the coffee, but like I just woke up, like they just do some stuff, like play some games with like a family, and then drink some coffee, and and then I'm like I feel awesome now, and it's like even better than before.
Yeah, but the second that goes away, then you feel like you can't like.
True, and I've done it like a few more times since then, and but like no, I mean I've had like a few days where I've had no coffee, like just besides the day where I went to the beach, and I've actually had no headaches. So if I had to do it again, I mean I'd be fine. But
Yeah, it's just moderation. It's just like if you're literally doing it every day and can't function without it, it's a problem. Because like people are like,
when
oh,
it
but like,
comes
well, I'm
to
tired. I
anything, yeah.
work. Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, but I'm tired. I work all day. I literally like if I don't have it, like I can't do my job. It's just like I mean I've worked all day. Like I've had to do school and then do restaurant shifts all day, and while simultaneously like moving furniture. Like I do physically exhausting work, and like
Yeah.
getting good sleep and getting water is good because like the thing that people understand is like you can be tired. Like I'll wake up and I want to fucking die in the morning, but the second like I get something to eat, then I'm ready to go. And then by the time I get home, I'm so fucking exhausted. But then I can sleep early. Then I won't my body follows on a natural cycle. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
like I don't like the people that work nights and do all that shit. Like their schedule is so fucked up that like they don't really have a choice. Like I feel for them because fuck man, life is 10 times better when you don't have to rely on getting caffeine to just give you energy, and you can, you're tired when you need to be.
Yeah. Exactly. Like Yeah, like man, like if I had to work the night shift at McDonald's, like that would suck.
Yeah,
That would
dude.
absolutely suck. Like going from like 8 or 10 to 4 in the morning. Like I could never do that.
Yeah, I
And
know
like
a lot of people.
Wait, what was that?
I was just say I know a lot of people that do night shifts, and they always just say their schedule is just fucked and their sleeping is fucked. It's like
Yeah.
I would never do that
Like people
if I
tell
didn't have to.
me, people tell me with the 4 a.m. shift I have, like 4 to like 1 or maybe even 2. So it's gone past that sometimes. Typically to like 12 or 1. People tell me like that shift's hard. Like waking up at like 3:30, going to open at 4 a.m. Like no, that is nothing in comparison to the night shift. I could never do that.
Oh yeah, dude.
But like for all these young people like that are in high school, like the night shift, that's what they want. They're like, oh yeah, I want to be up until 4 in the morning and like working. But I'm like, yeah, no, like you don't get how that's gonna completely like fuck everything, especially here in school. Dude,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, I totally feel for the people that have to get up early for commute because, like, my dad used to do that before he was able to take the train, right? So it's like you get up at, like, 3, 4 in the morning, get a little bit ready, then leave, like, almost 5, and then you sit in traffic for a fucking hour, and then you get there at, like, 7 or 8, and then you're there until 5, and then it takes you another hour or 2 hours to get home. Like,
and then
your
you get
whole
back and it's
day.
like, what are you even gonna do when you get home? Because like you need to
Exactly.
eat,
And
and then
besides
you need
just,
to you need to be with your family, and then it's like, oh, like, do
Yeah.
I ever get to do, oh, like, can I play guitar anymore? Nope.
Yeah, those
Or,
people I feel bad for that literally spend a fucking third of their life sitting in traffic and getting up early. Like, I'm fortunate that
yes,
I only have like a
it's
5 minute commute.
you know, same. Like if I got to go to work, just walk 10 minutes, or if I'm at the other
Yeah.
location, just take a 5 minute drive. Like that's it.
Yeah, I'm super fucking fortunate in that aspect because, dude, I would can't do it. I can't just sit in traffic. I fucking hate it. I hate being like wasted time and like it's just it just does not like just thinking about it just raises my blood pressure.
Yeah, it's really just having no leisure, pretty much.
Well, it's not even that. Like you literally spending the majority of your day in misery,
No,
right?
yeah,
So
but
it's
no, but
like
that's
that
the
can't be
thing. It's
good
like
for you.
no, yeah, but at the same time, like my point was that like it doesn't give you time to like, like to develop hobbies and things like that, and
Oh yeah.
like yeah, like do things like, oh hey, I want to go read a book, so I'm gonna go read a book, or how about I'm gonna watch the series I'm into. It's like, yeah, it's that like the people that don't have time for that, like I really feel bad for them.
Yeah, man. I definitely couldn't do it. More power to him. Especially for
Yeah,
people that's what they have to do to pay the bills and they have to
yeah, I
spend a
mean
lot of years doing it. Fuck
they
it.
gotta make ends meet and stuff like that,
God.
and yeah, that's why I'm so thankful. I'm still trying to figure things out, and I'm making some money, but it's not like I have to like. If I was living by myself, I'd probably have to get another job, and like I don't even think that could make ends meet yet. Yet,
Well, that's why I'm
it could at
such a
some
big
point,
advocate
but
of. That's why I'm such a big advocate of like you really have to, like put a lot of money into your savings account or even like investing. So it's like you have to set yourself a cushion where like you don't have to find a job that like really just kills you to fucking like what you don't want to do is paycheck to paycheck, right? So it's like finding something that will not make you wonder if you're gonna buy food this month, kind of thing.
yeah,
So it's
true.
like I think some people kind of like obviously the whole kind of thing is like a lot of people even with degrees are they're overworked and underpaid and a lot of jobs are paying bullshit for the work that they require and it's like a lot of people have a hard time even renting a shitty apartment. But I also think there's a lot of people that they live above their means and they also try to finance a place that they can't afford. So it's like they're like, oh, I have to work this shitty job and I'm like when they could have downgraded to something smaller, they just chose not to do that.
Yeah,
So there is a
exactly.
lot of that too.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why it's like you really just have to set yourself up. And if that's your only option is you have to do this really bad job to pay the bills, then trying to save as much money or get enough networking just to leave. Because like I think people have more of a choice than they realize. It just is a lot of fucking work to find something that's ideal, especially in today's market.
Yeah, but it's like you were saying, how it's like, well, you could have just picked like a worse, cheaper option that will do the job. Like
Yeah.
with the the other day, this customer's order, it was a Big Mac meal large with a caramel frappe. It came out to like $14, maybe even more. And it's like, maybe with that money you could buy like I at Food Lion, I always buy these. Um, I buy these packs of ground turkey, and they're $3 each, and it gives me like two days worth of meat in one package for like $3, and it's like,
Right.
how about you spend your money that way?
Well, I think a lot of people, their time is worth more. So, like, if you're literally working the majority of the time and you barely have enough energy to walk to your bed, like, it makes more of the difference to, get something cheap than to have to. Obviously, like, you can
Well, no,
buy
but no,
cheaper fast food, but, like, you can also.
yeah,
Like, I
that's
know,
very
like,
true.
like economically, I get it. Like, if you buy food that's a little bit more expensive, but if you make it last a couple days, like, you make your own food, like, you can make that, you can do more things with it. You end up saving money in the long run. But, like I said, some people, the time is more important to them kind of thing because like they don't have the energy to sit there and make dinner, so it's like they
Yeah,
just
that's
have to go
true.
grab something quickly. So it's like it's not even about sometimes like the cost because like that's like fast food is exponentially cheaper in the moment and it's convenient because like it's even quicker now because like I've like very rarely eat fast food and like I've gone to drive-throughs with my girlfriend. Like McDonald's like used to have to wait there for a couple seconds, but usually it's fucking ready as soon as you pull up to the window, like instantly.
Really.
And I don't know if
we just park everything to get the time up. And I hate
that's
doing that. I hate being the presenter and be like, "Hey man," like it's like the order's just like one drink. Like, "Hey man, could you park at the door for your like frappe?" Like I feel like a dick doing that.
I haven't had that happen, but like I said, I remember. I don't know if it's always been this way, and I just like I said, I very rarely go. But the times I've gone, it feels like you get what you want. You kind of sit there, wait for the other car, then you kind of sit at the window for not a very long time, just a little bit, and then they bring your food out. These days, it's just fucking right there.
I mean, yeah.
It's nuts how quick it takes sometimes. Like the longest part is just sitting in the line at the drive-thru, then they get the fucking food.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a mess. Like the way we have things set up, it's they I mean I think it's intentional. They intentionally make all this shitty food easy and super hard to get. They make everybody work super hard, long hours, don't get paid that much to keep them running and buying things that they don't need, or telling somebody that why did you buy that $60 game when you could have used that for something else. It's like, because I work all fucking day and literally have nothing, like my life sucks, so like this is the only thing that gives me relief, right? So it's like I feel like most of that's intentional, and especially depending on where you live, because like in our area, like even a shitty apartment is hard to afford because people think that their piece of shit building is worth goddamn inner city prices or downtown prices, I should say.
It's the Illuminati, bro.
Fucking space lizards.
Dude, I missed all those Illuminati memes. Those were the funniest fucking things.
I love them. I love conspiracy theories. Not believing in them, but I love just hearing about them on
just
big
hearing
history.
all this like crazy ideas that people come up with, like the Illuminati sacked Rome, the Illuminati.
The Templars is all the Templars.
Yeah, it's the Templars, bro. Like we're the assassins. Yeah. We need to rise up.
Yeah, that's why I like Assassin's Creed. I love alternative history. That stuff is so cool to me.
Yeah, the Assassin's Creed games. I mean, okay, like I think they're well designed enough. A lot of people criticize the game design, and that's fair. But this thing is like I don't play video games as much as these people. So like these things that would bother them wouldn't bother me as much.
I agree.
But I love them. The Assassin's Creed games for all I just love being in like in a historical setting, because they design these maps really well.
Oh, they're very well made. I think, like I said, the biggest thing that that made me fall off is like the actual gameplay kind of gets repetitive, but I love the story. I love following the characters.
But even for me, like it never gets old. Just like like doing those stealth kills and like doing those air assassinations and just being in like the combat, like just taking out like it's 13-1. Oh, no problem. I'm just gonna like be a badass. Oh. Exactly.
It's so easy to just take on people.
Yeah, but I do agree with like the mission design. Yes, like the mission design can just devolve into like tail these people, eavesdrop on their conversation. Like that shit's boring as fuck. But no, but a lot of the especially, did you ever play the Caribbean one?
The part I played a little bit of it.
That's my favorite one. Like I actually liked the story, and I really I loved especially the ender. Like I'm sorry, not the ender. The latter part of the game, like the story and the settings and the level design. I thought that was really good.
I think my favorite one. I actually really like the first one. I think I like the storyline of that one,
I think I have it downloaded. I haven't played it yet. I do really want to play it just because I the Holy Land and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool. I think my favorite is Revelations. Assassin's Creed Revelations. You play as Ezio. Yeah,
and that's Constantinople, right?
I think so. Fucking because like he was in 2 of them. I think the first one was Brotherhood,
he was in 3 of them actually.
Oh shit! It was 3. Well, okay, so
It was he was in 2, and then Brotherhood, and then Revelations. Yeah.
I think Brotherhood was in like Italy, Sicily, or Venice, and I think Revelations was in Constantinople. I don't remember. I just remember.
No. It was like number 2. Assassin's Creed 2. It's like the first of like the Ezio. I think because Ezio has like a trilogy.
I think the second one is what I played. I think Revelations is the second one. I like that one a lot. I think it's my favorite.
Well, I just remember one of them was in Florence, and then the next one was in Rome, and then the other one was in Constantinople, like where he's older. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Yeah, I never got around to that one actually because I played most of them.
They're fun. I haven't played the is Valhalla the newest one?
Yeah, I haven't played that.
I played a little bit of the native or the revolution the Revolutionary War one. I've played
That
like a little
one,
bit of it.
that one, like I might just be saying other people's opinions when I'm saying this, but like that game takes a long ass time to get to the
Yeah,
good stuff.
it was hard to get into. That was my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Because it took like I don't even know how many missions to be the actual like assassin, and like I know some people are like, oh well, it's just building up to the well, okay, but if the stuff that you're doing like during the time that it's building up to the cool stuff, if that's not even interesting, then like why should you even care? Like why would it even be worth it in the end?
I should have known that it was gonna be like that because like I always think the Revolutionary War is the most it's the most boring timeline to me. Like every time I've learned it, like specifically because like every time I've had to do a Revolutionary Wars course in school, it always was is always tied to fucking Constitution. Like that was so fucking boring. I hate
Oh
learning
no, yeah,
about the Bill of
that
Rights and the Constitution because that was always
super
synonymous with it.
boring.
Because like it was like even the battles were boring. Like it was probably pretty brutal, and like that effect gets lost. Something is like this signing of this document is it was important that Thomas Jefferson was in this state during this convention. It's like holy fuck, I like I hate the Revolutionary War. I always thought it was the most boring time. The only cool thing is the Boston Tea Party, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and then the Battle of Bunker Hill and the what's the other one? The
I don't even know. I don't fucking remember.
Yorktown. Yorktown's the one where we kicked England's ass and we won the war. That was pretty awesome. That's the
I
one that
always
everyone
remember.
knows.
I like the little epithets from it. So it's like the whatever the Boston Massacre. Nobody knows who shot first. Turned to a brawl, or like the British are coming kind of thing. So it's like I like a little of like the individual stories, but like anytime I have to fucking learn about how it
Yeah,
relates
like
to civics or like how like
oh no,
our
that's all
relations with
boring.
England were,
Like
like fucking hate that.
yeah, but I still think there's value in learning it because it's I think it's always important to know like the origins of our culture and whatnot. And like you're saying, like the Paul Revere and the what's it like Benedict Arnold, like just like the culture things and like the household names, like it's important to know all that stuff. But then at the same time, you have the boring civics like the Constitution and like the all that stuff. Yeah, that sucks. But I still think it's important to know.
I guess I agree because it's I mean I feel like it has no place in modern context, especially with all the bullshit that people either like loosely like don't follow it at all, or people that like
Yeah.
strictly follow it to the words. So it's I don't know. I feel like it's just what it is. People just I hate when people just prefer the Constitution for everything. It's fucking annoying. But
Yeah.
what's funny is like every time, like I have vivid memories of like severely disliking. I remember it doesn't matter what documentary or video or educational thing that we saw. Anytime they always start out by like some dipshit with a feather hat writing something in the dark with a candle, and I automatically just fucking like I'm going to sleep.
uh,
Like I cannot function with this fucking nonsense. Like like I like the Civil War. Like I feel like that's 10 times more interesting.
yeah. Hmm. I might not be the same way. I think I might prefer like a colonial America and all
Really?
of what was going. Oh yeah, I think so. But also another underrated war is the Mexican American War.
I remember
That that
very
is
little.
that is very interesting. And well, and like I want to look into it more, but it fascinates me because like that's how we got Texas and that's how we got like a lot of our Western territory.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they always say to remember the Alamo, but I don't fucking remember it.
I know. I all I know is that there was just some like flag, and then we were like trolling them. They're like, come and take it, and like that's all I know. But
I
I
remember what it
don't
looks
really
like on the
know.
postcard.
I don't even know that.
You don't know what it looks like? The museum or whatever?
I'm sure if I did see it, I'd be like, oh, it's that.
Alamo.
No, for me, I think the most like since we're talking about history classes, um, I think the most important class I ever took, like the class that I got the most out of ever, I think was my sophomore Western Civ class. That class was so important for me. Like it gave me so much perspective of like the origins of like where we come from, and like just all of these cultural things in the West, and just like if you don't know any of that, like it's you can be confused about a lot how the things are the way they are today.
The more I look into it, because I've been really into, I love ancient history and like, back. I'm not gonna get into it because it can be our next podcast because I
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
love
That'd be
archaeology. I
awesome.
love how people are saying how we are probably slightly more advanced than we think we are, and like there are older civilizations than 6,000 years. Like we're starting to dig up ones that are 12,000 years old, and how all these cultures have a very similar pyramid type of style of design, and like how the fuck did the Bronze Age or even earlier the Stone Age like carve stuff out of granite. So it's like
Oh yeah.
I think we're starting to like I think the world of archaeology is going to change very rapidly in the next 5 years, and I think Egypt is the key to that because
Yes.
all the things we've been taught about Egypt have been just total speculation with no evidence. And the pyramids are the greatest. I'm like, I'm not going into the whole aliens built the pyramids thing. That's not where I'm
Yeah,
heading. But like
no.
the fact that like they are not tombs, and if you see videos of people walking inside, literally they're like shafts. Like it was not designed for people to like go in. Like they had a functional purpose.
Oh, they're not tombs.
No, there
What
is
are
like
they
no.
exactly?
They don't know. So like people. So the problem is like there's a lot of people that are filling the speculatory gap in the other direction, like, oh, these were giant capacitors, they harvested energy. But I mean, it's pretty much, I think the consensus is like they're trying to find erosion, and I think they're saying like the bottom of it held water, and the shafts that are like vertical going up might have even used as some pump. Like there's a bunch of other theories for it, but like the one thing that is conclusive is that like there are no hieroglyphs, there have been no bodies found, like there are no tombs. The only thing they have that they call the Queen's Chamber is like this one empty room with like a granite empty box that's like in the middle of the room, and they can't figure out what it is, but like they just tell people it's like it's kind of a joke with archaeology that anything they can't explain is a tomb or was used for a sacrifice or a ritual. Like that's usually what they go to.
Yeah.
Like oh, here's this thing, we don't know what it is. It's a tomb, or people use to worship here. Like that's kind of what they go to.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's like when you watch, like, go watch a video of people like exploring the pyramids. Like to get to the Queen's Chamber, you have to climb up this like 45-degree angle shaft, and like they had to add wooden slots onto it so people could even so
Nice.
like
Nice.
it was all like granite that's carved, and it's fucking watertight. Like you can't even put a razor blade in between it. So it's like we're trying to figure out how the fuck. So it's like, hold on, dude, I can fucking go all day. It's like the base of the pyramid, the interior is all like granite, and granite is a fucking hard rock. You cannot cut granite that accurate with bronze tools, which is what they supposedly had back in the day. The structure on top of it is like limestone or sand. I think it's sandstone. So it's like they're supposed to be that, like they hauled this heavy ass stone from like a quarry, 400 miles away, and then they lifted it onto this gigantic, like doing that. So that's, I guess, is more plausible. It's also like how they do that too. But they could cut those bricks, right? But the granite one, that's what people are having a hard time. So they're trying to figure out whether was like the internal structure of the pyramid already there, and the Egyptians came and built the actual sandstone on top of it, or what the deal is. So it's like they really don't have a good idea of what the pyramids were used for and really how they're built, because like
Yeah,
all
like
like the
these.
tombs and the hieroglyphs, like that's in the Valley of the Kings, like that is like a designated spot.
Okay. Yeah, like
But
all of these like these ancient civilizations that had like these very niche like they had these certain things that were super advanced where it's like how was that like what they had really advanced, and like the a lot of these like Native American um peoples, like a lot of people in like um Mexico and Central America and South America, like these people were Neolithic, and it's like how'd you guys not have a wheel, but then you had this super nice irrigation system, and it's really interesting to think about.
yeah, and I've watched a bunch of debates of like mainstream scientists and archaeologists kind of debate with these guys. They're trying to uncover new data, and the one thing that they will agree on, like they don't agree that, this has been a while since I've seen this, like they don't agree with a lot of the claims that these guys were making, but the one thing I guess they will agree with, because like the one thing that is absolute, that's not like a conspiracy or that is a fabrication, is that people are digging up ruins that are 12,000 years old, and they're gigantic megalithic sites of stone. So it's like that around that time, like that's where main science degree is at. You know, they were like hunter gatherers. There wasn't like any like bigger societies, like is like Mesopotamia or Indus Valley. I can't remember which one has been like, you know, they call it the cradle of civilization, right? So that was supposed to be like the Mesopotamia. So that was like the first instance of like a big, you know, structured society, right? Yeah. So 12,000 years, because like we don't have really that much recorded history, if not at all, past 6,000 years. So they're starting to like.
If you're talking about recorded history, that's the definition of history, is just since we've been able to read and write.
Well, you know, oral history has been passed down for thousands and thousands of years of like older shit, but like we haven't found like concrete evidence or have any records of that time. I think.
No, yeah, but that's why it's not history technically. That's why like it's prehistory.
Well, it's all. I guess yeah. If you're being technical in the term, but what I'm saying is like they are like they're carbon dating and they're finding like megalithic sites that are 12,000 years old. So. You know, the one thing that they can say is like everybody wasn't a hunter gatherer primitive society 12,000 years ago kind of thing.
It was the Illuminati, dude. It was the aliens.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of shit going on, like global catastrophes, and like people like have been like more of like one type of civilization, like the Egyptians talk about the Atlanteans and all that shit. So it's like there's like, and when people think of Atlantis, they think of like mystical, like, you know, like island in the ocean and so it's like the Egyptians, like they legitimately thought they were a real society, and that's where they came from. Like the kings of, or whoever, like the rulers of Atlantis split off into different kingdoms, and one of them was Egypt. So it's like that's in their history, and that's what they told. Like, because Plato didn't make that up. Plato went to Egypt, and that's what the Egyptians told him. I forgot about that. Yeah. So Atlantis, if it's a real place, which I'm starting to think more evidence is that it is, but not in the context of like what people think Atlantis is. Not like an advanced race of like alien water creature. Like it's you know, whatever the case may be, is that Atlantis.
Dracula was a real person, but he wasn't like an actual like vampire with like the way we think of him, you know.
Right. It was based on Vlad the Impaler.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like the same. Like Atlantis was long gone before Plato even got to Egypt. Was what I was trying to say. But
yeah,
I don't even know how I got into this topic. But pretty much, like I said, I like that part of I love ancient history, and how I can't wait for when like more evidence gets dug up of like how, you know, humanity is a little bit more civilized a lot earlier than we thought. That's always really cool to me.
Yeah. Do you know what's even more? Well, not necessarily more, but you know what is also really interesting is the ocean. That always fascinates, and it kind of freaks me out almost. Like if you ask me, like, what is my biggest fear? Like, my nightmare is to just wake up. I'm waiting. I'm treading water in just the middle of just the ocean, 360 degrees. I don't see anything in my sight.
That's my worst nightmare. Fucking open ocean.
Yeah, just open ocean. I have no idea what's underneath my feet. Like, that would just, man. And the fact that 97 or 98, maybe even 99%, I don't exactly remember the percentage, but like that insanely high percentage of the ocean, like we don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's like we know more. We've explored more of space than we have the ocean, which is crazy.
That's a famous stat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm curious too is what is lying underneath, because most of ancient civilizations is underwater, probably. A lot of our history is in the ocean.
Yeah,
oh man.
I know what you mean by that.
It's about that time.
Yeah, I was gonna say like. I mean, yeah, you gotta work tomorrow, right?
I work every day. Pretty much.
Look at you.
Making money for shit I can't afford. Hooray.
Yeah, I got 2 language classes tomorrow. I'm gonna add the 3rd one.
Did you finally tell your teacher about your pho experience?
No, I didn't. I keep forgetting that.
It's a big part of the
Yeah.
culture. The food's fucking good.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing the Portuguese still, which I might have to stop doing that because I don't know how much more I can get out of just learning the names of animals. It's like I think I'm just kind of past that at this point. I need to ask my teacher like, hey, oh yeah, because actually I'm reading this really good and famous poem. It was Lusíadas. It's this. Some people say it's the greatest work in the history of the Portuguese language. I don't know because I'm not finished with it, and I haven't read much in Portuguese, but it's about the old Portuguese explorers and like Vasco da Gama and all them, and like Henry. I don't know if Henry the Navigator's in it, but like it's about all that and like them, like exploring the world and like going to the Cape of Good Hope and all that stuff because like they were the first like global empire. Like they're the OG explorers and navigators, and they're like I think they're one like in terms of like quote unquote civilizations that are cool, I guess. And you think of the Romans, you think of the Greeks and the Hellenics, or you think of the ancient Chinese or like
or the Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. But I think a really underrated civilization people is the Portuguese. Like they're like in terms of just how cool they are and like what they did, they go very unnoticed. Like I saw this meme where it was like when you're it had a picture of like a stock market thing just like going down and crashing, like the arrow just, and it had like this guy with a suit with the Portuguese flag was like on his face, and it was when you were the world's first global empire, but now everyone thinks you're part of Spain and that you speak Brazilian.
Dude, it pretty fucking true. Goddamn,
Yeah.
I don't remember much. Was Ponce de Leon, was he Spanish or Portuguese?
He was Spanish.
Okay.
I
was about to use him as an
pretty
example,
sure
but
he
he's.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Well, Columbus was Portuguese, wasn't he?
No,
but he went to the
Columbus-
Spanish.
No, Columbus was Italian.
Oh, but he went to the Portuguese, right?
No,
'Cause Spain wouldn't let him do it.
actually, he went to the Portuguese first. Portuguese didn't let him, and then he went to Spain, and then.
I got the shit all backwards then.
Yeah.
Fuck. It has been a minute.
Yeah. Let me see.
Oh, man.
Ponce de Leon. Yes, he was Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Because I don't even remember that. Like I said, besides Vasco da Gama, that's the name that rings a bell to me. I don't know any other Portuguese explorers.
Henry the Navigator, like I said.
Yeah, I don't really remember much of him either.
He's the guy who discovered the Cape of Good Hope, I'm pretty sure.
I see.
But then,
Ron.
But then Vasco da Gama was the first guy to circumnavigate the Earth.
Okay.
No, but all the other famous explorers, they're all Spanish though. Like like Coronado or Coronado, I guess, and Cortez, Pizarro, like all those guys like who colonized the Americas, they're all Spanish. Except Columbus.
Colombo. I think wasn't it obviously they have evidence that the Vikings came to the I guess Nova Scotia or like wherever the part of Canada.
Oh yeah, I think that's fact.
Before the Spanish and or the Portuguese did, and then I think the Chinese. I used to have a history teacher that he was. I don't remember anything in his class, but I remember he was very certain that like Zheng He was like the first person to discover the Americas, obviously besides the fucking natives.
I saw a thumbnail about that. I wasn't sure if that was like a theory or that was like a.
Yeah, I don't remember, but there's a lot of people who think the
think
Chinese were like the earliest explorers to that region.
Yeah,
obviously before
I think that's just a theory though.
Oh yeah, I don't know how if it has any validity.
I know there's like actual proof that the Vikings were like the first. Non-indigenous peoples to arrive in the Americas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if the Chinese thing's true. I just remember that one of my history teachers in high school, he was like, no, like the fucking Zheng He was like the first guy to, go to the Americas. And I don't remember if he said that he had contact with the natives or not, but
yeah. Yeah, or actually, I know the Russians actually got to like the western part of the U.S. I don't remember how long ago, but it was like I think it was like before that was part of the U.S., but I could be mistaken. I don't know, I can't exactly remember.
the whatever and like whatever kingdom or empire they were then, because they weren't like Russians.
Yeah, yeah. Russia also fascinates me because like I just love how they're like this quasi European, quasi Asian culture. Like they're really fascinating, and like when studying their history, there's been a lot of debate actually, like even like among Russians of like like should we think of ourselves as Europeans? Like should we be Asians? Like should when talking about European and like Western civilization, should we be in the equation and stuff like that? And it's honestly like no, Russia's just kind of like its own thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go back far enough, like I think it's like the Kievan Rus, like there's a lot of tribes that I think were like descendants, not descendants. I'm sorry, like the ancestors to the Vikings, and obviously like the Danes, all those Germanic tribes that went to England and made the Anglos, Saxons, and the Jutes, and all that shit. So it's like
Oh
that,
yeah.
like that whole region, like kind of like was very like it was. I'm not gonna say it's like the same people, but they're very similar. And farther back you go.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Like all those Slavic peoples.
Yeah, but like obviously, like the further east you go, like when like the Siberian region or
Oh
Mongolia
yeah,
or just like the parts of
they're
Russia,
more
they're pretty
Asian.
much
Yeah.
Asian and white.
Yeah, yeah, like I would say St. Petersburg. Oh yeah, that's a European city,
Yeah,
and even Moscow. Even that I would
Moscow's on
say.
like on the western side though.
Yeah, but it's still more like it's not. It doesn't look like. Well, okay, like you know how like most European like big European cities have just like it's like that quote unquote like European look.
Right,
Like Amsterdam looks super similar to Copenhagen. You know,
right.
but like St. Petersburg looks a lot like all these other North Germanic. I mean, not, like yeah, like these like northern Western European cities, but Moscow like doesn't look like that because you remember when Napoleon came to conquer them. Remember, like he showed up and the city was just burned.
I
Yeah,
forgot
because
about that. Yeah,
that's like the biggest like Goddamn of all time. Like man, like he
fuck.
showed up, he was expecting them to give him shelter after he was freezing his balls off from like the winter, and then they just left. They're like, yeah, we'd rather burn our city than have you take it over, Napoleon.
I
But
would like if there's one historical figure I'd like to make fun of in real life, or just me, it would be Napoleon.
I like Napoleon's cool. I like Napoleon.
Short Napoleon complex.
No, but honestly, like people don't realize how he might be like the most consequential person in the last like 300 years.
Napoleon.
Oh yeah, because what people don't because when people study Napoleon, it's typically in Western Civ, and they're only talking about what was going on in Europe, but what they don't talk about is what was going on, not in Europe. So the biggest things is because Napoleon took over like all of the European countries pretty much, and like he made his brother the king of Spain. And what that did is that actually caused a lot of these Latin American colonies to gain independence because like they weren't as well run anymore, and like they were under sick new leadership, and it wasn't very good. Like I mean, it was just Napoleon's brothers. Hey, here you go, you're the king of Spain, and like a lot of these countries were able to gain independence, and the same thing in South Africa. Actually, it didn't get independent, but the British took it over because the Dutch got conquered by Napoleon, but the British did not. So the British got South Africa out of that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, if you have a massive empire and you have a lot of influence over a large geographical area, you're gonna cause a lot of chain reactions for shit and like, affect a lot of things.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I'd say either him or maybe like Karl Marx. I guess like they might be the most influential, consequential figures in the. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't say 200 years because I. Wait, when did Marx write the manifesto?
That was like in the 1800s, wasn't it?
Oh, okay, no, yeah, then I'm right, yeah.
I'm guessing. I think so. It might be wrong, but I think it was around that time.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Also, those two people, like I would put them in, like the most famous people of all time.
Yeah, I think it's like late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. I don't fucking know. So they're on there.
Something like that. Oh wait, I think it was 1848 actually.
Something. I just want to see his reaction to all the fucking colored-haired people that would quote him for eternity.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? And he comes back now, like, huh?
Or how many governments have killed people in his name.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that was intentional.
None of it's intentional. That was the whole point.
I know.
The whole point was to be fucking taking the power back and being against the government, but it just... like, that's my...
Well, that's part of the flaws with, like, his... I mean,
no, it's just the flaws of the bureaucracy.
We could talk about this in another podcast.
Yeah, no. That's kind of what I want to conclude with, I guess, to segue into whatever the next one we do. Like, it's just bureaucracy. Whether you're capitalist, socialist, communist, whatever the fuck, they will find a way to, get a loophole and get power over you. Like, that's just how it goes with any ruling society.
There's always going to be bad people.
It never goes away.
That'll take advantage,
no matter.
And nothing is going to... No way of governing or anything like that is ever going to be perfect.
They'll fuck it up no matter what system of government you throw at them.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I think it's a good note to end on. I'm getting a little bit weary.
Yeah, and then next episode, I'm going to be talking about why we should go back to monarchy.
You have fun with your feudalist bullshit.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I
Do you actually believe that?
Kind of. Not.
All right, we'll say it. We'll pin that.
I'll explain more about it, yeah.
We'll say that. That's an interesting opener.
Okay, yeah.
All right, man. See ya.
See you, dude.